I'm Ethan, the invisible brother whose narcissistic sibling, Ryan, stole my fiancée and my family's love, leaving me broken in Seattle's shadows. They begged for my help years later, but my comeback turned their world upside down. From devastating betrayal to a revenge that echoed across the city, this is how I rebuilt my life. Ever been crushed by those you trusted most? Share your story below and let's rise together. Seattle's autumn rain in 2025 taps my Fremont condo's windows, mingling with the hum of Puget Sound and the coffee aroma from Pike Place Market, a world away. I'm Ethan, 30, staring at my Secure Path startup's dashboard, its glow a testament to a life I forged from betrayal's ashes. 6 years ago, I was the forgotten brother, my heart shattered by my narcissistic brother, Ryan, my fiancée, Mia, and a family who chose them over me. Now, I'm building a legacy they'll never touch, but the scars still murmur. Let me take you back to when I was a ghost in their spotlight, chasing a love I'd never grasped. I grew up in a Queen Anne craftsman house, its weathered porch and ivy-clad walls a stage for a childhood both warm and warped. Ryan, 4 years younger at 26 now, was the golden child, his hazel eyes and easy laugh a magnet for Mom's devotion and Dad's dreams. Mom Ellen, a nurse with a soft voice, called him her miracle, soothing his every hiccup. Spilled milk at 4 meant kisses, a failed test at 10 got hugs. Dad, Greg, a mechanic with calloused hands, saw Ryan as his second chance, a future lawyer to redeem his own high school dropout past. Their love was the spotlight, and Ryan basked in it, while I, Ethan, was the reliable shadow. Straight A's, no trouble, no applause. I didn't demand coddling, so I got none, my life a quiet hum behind Ryan's fanfare. At 6, I spent weeks carving a wooden boat for a school fair, sanding in Dad's garage, dreaming of Mom's smile. It won a blue ribbon, and I ran home, heart soaring, clutching it. Mom was helping Ryan with a crayon drawing, her eyes fixed on him. "That's nice, Ethan," she said, glancing briefly. "Can you sweep the porch?" Ryan's scribble got taped to the fridge, my boat gathered dust. Dad, fixing a radiator, ruffled Ryan's hair for a D in spelling, saying, "This kid's got heart." My A's, unseen. The narcissism in Ryan's orbit was stark. He was the star, and I was a prop, valued only when useful. By 8, I learned to fade. I'd bike to Volunteer Park, sketching code in a notebook, finding refuge in logic while Ryan's Little League games drew family cheers. At 10, I built a weather app on our clunky PC, hoping Dad would care. He nodded, distracted, then praised Ryan's hustle in a losing game. Mom's codependency was a cage, her need to prop Ryan up blinding her to me. "He's sensitive," she'd say, excusing his tantrums, while my quiet wins were expected. I internalized it. My worth was in service, not love. Middle school deepened the divide. At 12, I was at Roosevelt Middle, coding in the library, earning perfect grades, while Ryan, a chaotic 8-year-old, disrupted classes, his C's hailed as a potential. When I won a regional science fair at 13 with a solar-powered sensor, I thought, now they'll see me. I showed Mom the medal at dinner, heart pounding. She smiled thinly, stirring chili. "Good work, Ethan." "Ryan, tell us about your art project." Dad, reading a car manual, grunted, "Ryan's got flair." My medal sat in a drawer while Ryan's lumpy clay pot got a shelf. The gaslighting began, subtle but sharp. Mom would say, "You're so strong, Ethan." Ryan needs us more, framing my resilience as a flaw. Dad's rare talks were commands. "Say, look out for your brother, son. He's got big things ahead." Big things? Ryan broke rules, snuck out to Aoki Beach, and crashed Mom's old Subaru, yet she called it Spirit. I mowed lawns to buy a laptop, while Ryan got a new bike for trying. The codependency was a cycle. Ryan failed. They coddled. He demanded more, his narcissism blooming. High school was a crucible. At Garfield High, I coded apps, led the robotics club, and earned a 4.0, while Ryan, a freshman, coasted with D's, his charm enough for Mom's praise. At 16, I won a state coding competition, my app, a transit tracker, praised by local news. I showed Dad the article, hoping for pride. He glanced up from Ryan's soccer stats. "Nice, Ethan. Ryan's games tonight. Be there." Mom baked cookies for Ryan's effort, while my win got a nod. The learned helplessness took root. No matter my feats, I'd never outshine Ryan. At 17, I earned a full scholarship to the University of Washington's computer science program, my escape. I told my parents at breakfast, letter trembling in my hands. Mom looked up from Ryan's detention slip. "That's great, Ethan. Can you tutor Ryan in math?" Dad nodded, eyes on his coffee. "Knew you'd manage." Ryan, eating toast, smirked. "Bet I'll get one too, bro." My triumph, years of grind, was a whisper next to Ryan's chaos. I vowed then, I'd build a life they couldn't ignore. I met Mia in 2018, my junior year at UW. At Fremont's Milstead and Company I was 22, debugging code, coffee cold, when she slid a latte over, grinning. "Coding the apocalypse?" she teased, her auburn curls catching the light. Mia, 21, was a barista and art student, her sketches as vibrant as her laugh. We talked about Seattle's fog, her love for Frida Kahlo, my encryption projects, until her shift ended, then walked to Gasworks Park, stars above. She became my sanctuary, meeting me at Chioli Garden in Glass, sketching glass blooms while I rambled about algorithms. "You're enough, Ethan," she'd say, her hand in mine, and I believed her. Mia was my first love, a flame in my dim world. She worked at a Capitol Hill salon, saving for a design career, her pragmatism grounding my dreams. We'd roam Pike Place Market, tasting smoked salmon, planning a future, marriage, a Belltown loft, a cat named Bite. I wanted my family to see her spark, but they barely glanced. At Thanksgiving 2018, I brought Mia to Queen Anne, hoping for warmth. Mom smiled stiffly, then fawned over Ryan's girlfriend, Jess, a brash theater major. "Jess is a star," Mom gushed, serving her pie. Mia got a nod and passed the potatoes. Dad asked Ryan about soccer, ignoring Mia's art talk. Ryan's girls were royalty, Mia was a ghost. The trauma bond with my family blinded me. I craved their approval, shaped by years of neglect, so I excused their chill. "They're stressed," I told Mia at Alki Beach, waves crashing. She frowned, sketching the horizon. Her words stung, but I buried them, clinging to hope. Mia and I grew tighter, spending nights at Volunteer Park, her head on my shoulder, dreaming aloud. She was my home, and I thought nothing could shatter us. My cousin, Sophie, was a rare ally. 2 years older, she lived in Ballard, a barista with a sharp wit and a knack for seeing through family nonsense. At 15, she'd noticed Ryan's narcissism, whispering at a family barbecue, "On your parents treat him like a prince. It's gross." Her support was a lifeline, her texts, "You're killing it, Ethan," a balm for my wounds. In 2019, Sophie moved closer, renting a Fremont flat, and we bonded over beers at Fremont Brewing. Her stories of bad dates cutting through my family's fog. Sophie met Mia and loved her, calling her side a real deal. We'd hang at Ballard Locks, Sophie joking, "Mia's too good for you, Ethan." When I told her about my scholarship, she cheered louder than my parents ever did, buying me a celebratory coffee. "You're gonna own Seattle," she said, eyes bright. I believed her, her faith countering my learned helplessness. Sophie's presence was a promise, not all family would betray me. In 2020, I graduated Idle with honors, landing a Capitol Hill internship at a tech firm. I proposed to Mia at Cary Park, Seattle's skyline aglow. I'd saved for an emerald ring, her favorite, and knelt, heart thumping. "In my world, Mia," I said. "Will you marry me?" she cried, nodding, and we laughed, tangled in joy. It was my pinnacle, a life aligning, love, a career, a future. Mom, shockingly, warmed to Mia post-engagement. She called her dear, asked about wedding plans, baked lemon bars for our engagement party at Fremont Brewery. Dad, gruff but nodding, said, Good pick, son." I thought, they're changing. We planned a 2021 wedding at a Ballard venue by Shilshole Bay, small but ours. Mia and I scouted venues, tasting cakes at Pike Place, trying on dresses in Belltown boutiques, her laughter my anchor. Sophie helped, designing invitations, her humor easing Mia's stress. "Ew, you two are goals," she said, sketching peonies. Ryan, meanwhile, was unraveling, dropping out of community college, bartending in Belltown, still Mom's sensitive boy. He'd visit our Fremont apartment, oddly attentive, saying, "Missed you, bro." I welcomed him, naive, hoping for family ties. The gaslighting crept in, Mom saying, "Mia seems distracted, Ethan." "Sure, she's ready." Dad's calls were cautions. "Weddings are heavy, son." "She up for it?" I dismissed them. But the trauma bond kept me tethered, yearning for unity. By late 2020, Mia grew distant, canceling dates, citing work stress. I blamed wedding plans, trusting her love. We'd argue small things like table settings, but her silences grew longer. One night at Fremont's Shilling Cider House, I pressed her. "What's wrong, Mia?" she sighed, eyes distant. "I'm just tired, Ethan," I nodded, ignoring the chill. Sophie noticed, texting, "Check on Mia, something's off." I brushed it off, but Ryan's visits increased, his charm dialed up. "You're lucky, bro," he'd say, hugging Mia too long. I saw nothing, my trauma bond blinding me to danger. Mom's gaslighting intensified. Over coffee at Queen Anne, she said, "Mia's young, Ethan. Marriage is a lot. Maybe wait." Dad, at a rare dinner, added, "Ryan says she's overwhelmed. Listen to him." Ryan? I frowned, but the codependency in their trust of him, despite his failures, drowned my doubts. I doubled down, planning a perfect wedding, booking a string quartet, crafting vows at Alki Beach, Mia's hand in mine, her smile faint but there. In March 2021, a month before the wedding, Mia texted, "Meet me at Gasworks Park. Urgent." I was at my internship, coding a security patch, when my stomach knotted. I drove over, Seattle's skyline gray, dread rising. Mia sat on a bench, clutching a coffee, eyes red. I sat, heart racing. "What's wrong?" I asked, voice shaking. She wouldn't look at me, then whispered, "I'm pregnant, it's Ryan's." The words were a sledgehammer, shattering my world. I couldn't breathe, vision blurring. "What?" I choked, praying I'd misheard. She repeated it, tears streaming. "I'm sorry, Ethan, it was a mistake." Her story spilled. Ryan had been at her salon, charming her, saying I was too busy, that she was lonely. Drinks at a Belltown bar led to a night she couldn't explain. She sobbed, begging forgiveness, but I was numb, the park's kites and ferries fading. I stood, keys shaking, and walked away, her cries echoing. I drove to Queen Anne, rage and grief colliding. Ryan was on the couch, head down, Mom hovering with tissues, Dad by the window, avoiding me. The codependency was suffocating. Ryan the victim, Mom his shield, Dad his enabler. "What the hell?" I said, voice cracking. Mom spoke, nurse calm. "Ethan, let's be rational." Rational? My fiancée was pregnant with my brother's child and she wanted rational. "Explain," I demanded, glaring at Ryan. He mumbled. "It was an accident." Mom cut in, gaslighting me. "He's stepping up, Ethan. He'll be a father, that's brave." "Brave?" I laughed, bitter. "He sleeps with my fiancée and he's brave." "What about me?" Dad sighed, speaking. "And mistakes happen, Ethan. If you love Mia, let her go. They're a family now." The gaslighting was a knife, my pain erased, Ryan's heroism exalted. I faced Mom, tears burning. "So we're choosing him. Always him." She frowned, codependent to the core. "We're a family, Ethan. We support each other." I saw it. I wasn't family, just a sacrifice. "I'm done," I said, voice steady despite the ache. "You want him, keep him, I'm gone." Mom gasped. "Ethan, don't be rash." I was already moving, grabbing my room's essentials, laptop, clothes, Mia's ring, later pawned. Dad blocked the door, stern. "You're overreacting." I pushed past, suitcase dragging. "No, Dad, you're underreacting." I drove to my dorm, Seattle's lights blurred by tears, and cut them off. New number, blocked accounts, no trace. The trauma bond snapped, leaving me raw but free. Sophie's support held me together. She met me at Fremont Brewing, her hug fierce. "They're garbage, Ethan. You're better than them." We talked for hours, her anger at Ryan matching mine. "He's a narcissist," she said, sipping an IPA. "And our parents are his puppets." Her words countered my learned helplessness, reminding me I could fight. Sophie helped me move to a new dorm, unpacking boxes, joking about my nerd cave. "You'll rise, Ethan," she said, her faith a spark. But Sophie's loyalty wavered. A month later, at a Ballard cafe, she hesitated, saying, "Aunt Ellen called. She's worried about Ryan." I froze, coffee bitter. "I'm Sean." I froze, coffee bitter. "Worried?" After what he did. Sophie sighed, gaslighting creeping in. "Maybe they didn't mean to hurt you. The betrayal stung Sophie, my ally, softening toward them. I stood, voice cold. They chose him, Sophie, don't you start. She texted apologies, but the trauma bond with family was pulling her back, a warning I heeded. The months after were a haze. I lived in my UW dorm, a robot, code, class, sleep, repeat. Friends asked about the wedding, I snapped, "It's off," and walled them out. The learned helplessness was a shroud. I'd believed I'd never escape Ryan's shadow, that family love was a lie. I deleted Mia's photos, blocked her, burned her sketches in a dorm sink, smoke stinging my eyes. The void swallowed joy, hope, everything. Aunt Nora, Mom's estranged sister in Tacoma, was my lifeline. A painter with a sharp tongue, she'd always seen Ryan's narcissism. She texted, "Heard the chaos. Ethan, I'm with you. They'll pay." Her words were a flare piercing my despair. I dove into coding, spending nights in the computer lab, building apps to silence my pain. Professor Clara Onguyen, my cybersecurity mentor, noticed, her bluntness a gift. "You're wasting talent, Ethan. Join my research." I nodded, seeking escape, not glory. Clara's lab was salvation. I learned encryption, penetration testing, hacking systems to protect them. It was control, a shield against family chaos. Aunt Nora sent updates. Ryan flunked college, sank Dad's savings into a failed music venture, moved home to Leech. Mia had a daughter, raising her alone, Ryan barely involved. Mom excused him. "He's young, finding his path," while Dad blamed bad luck. Their codependency was a vortex, fueling Ryan's narcissism, draining them. I felt no triumph, just distance, my life a new algorithm. In 2022, I met Leo at Securpath, a Seattle cybersecurity startup. He was 31, a lanky coder with a quick laugh and a knack for truth. Over beers at Fremont Brewing, I spilled my story, raw and halting. "That's some soap opera BS," Leo said, eyes fierce. "And your family's trash, you're more than them." His support cracked my walls, a brotherhood born in late-night coding and Alki beach walks. Leo's mantra, "Build your kingdom, burn the past," fueled me, countering learned helplessness. Leo pushed me to shine. When I hesitated to pitch our threat detection algorithm to Securpath CEO, he said, "You're not Ryan's shadow, Ethan. Own it." I did, earning a junior developer role with equity. Leo's Capitol Hill loft became my refuge, his dog, Max, a slobbery therapist. "So you're rewriting your story," Leo said, grilling salmon on his balcony. "Oh, I'll let them touch it." His words, with Aunt Nora's, solidified my boundary formation. By 2023, Securpath was my world. Our software, guarding banks and tech giants, grew fast, my equity a fortune. I moved to a Belltown condo, its Space Needle view a symbol of my climb. I worked long hours, coding defenses, thriving in chaos. Leo and our team hit Fremont bars, trivia nights a ritual, their laughter my chosen family. I dated sparingly, Mia's betrayal a scar, but found peace in solitude, hiking Discovery Park, coding at night. Aunt Nora's updates darkened. Dad's heart issues hospitalized him, bills crushing them. Mom lost her nursing job, stress breaking her. Ryan, 23, worked odd jobs, spending more on Belltown parties than he earned. They sold the Queen Anne house, moving to a rent-in apartment, Ryan mooching. "They're drowning," Aunt Nora wrote, "but it's their choice." I read it at Pike Place, fishmongers shouting, and felt resolve. Their codependency sank them. I was soaring, my boundaries a shield. In 2024, Securpath exploded. A TechCrunch feature called me Seattle's cybersecurity star, my scholarship to startup story inspiring. I traveled, San Francisco, New York, pitching investors my name in headlines. I bought a Tesla, upgraded my condo, it's quiet a sanctuary. Leo toasted me at Volunteer Park, grinning. "You're a legend, Ethan." "Ryan who?" I laughed, the trauma bond fading, my life a canvas I painted. In January 2025, 6 years after I cut ties, my phone rang, an unknown number. I was at Ballard Locks, watching salmon leap, when I answered, instinct overriding caution. "Say, Ethan?" Mom's voice, frail and broken, stopped me. "Don't hang up." I froze, water rushing. "How'd you get this number?" I asked, voice hard. "Aunt Nora," she lied. A betrayal I'd verify. "We need you, Ethan. Please." Her story was dire. Dad's heart was failing, hospital stays draining them. They'd sold their car, tapped retirement, bailing Ryan out of a $70,000 crypto scam that tanked. Ryan, 26, was jobless, living with them, a leech. "We're broke," Mom sobbed. "We're losing everything." I clenched my phone, anger flaring. Me," I said. "You chose Ryan always." She gasped, gaslighting kicking in. "We didn't choose Ethan. Ryan's trying," I scoffed. "He's a man, Mom, leeching off you." "I'm not your ATM. Leeching off you. I'm not your ATM." Her codependency was a chain, her need to save Ryan blinding her to me. "We're family," she pleaded. "Help us." I stood, locks churning, and spoke, voice steady, and turned by steadily, and stopped being mine when you took his side. "Goodbye." I hung up, hands trembling, and walked to the waterfront, ferries gliding. The trauma bond tugged, but I cut it, my boundaries ironclad. A week later, Aunt Nora called, debunking Mom's lie. She hadn't given my number. Mom had snooped old emails. "They're desperate," Aunt Nora said, her Tacoma drawl sharp. "Dad's bad, Ethan. Mom's crumbling. Ryan's useless." I sighed, staring at my condo's skyline. "They want my money," I said, "after everything." Aunt Nora laughed, dry. "They built that hole. Let them dig." Ryan struck again, messaging on LinkedIn. "Ethan, I screwed up. Sorry about Mia, all of it. Mom and Dad need you. I'm changing." The narcissism was blatant. Sorry only when cornered. I didn't reply but checked his ex profile, bar selfies, captioned living large, while Mom and Dad sank. Comments hyped him. "Keep shining, bro." I closed it, sickened. In April 2025, I funded Aunt Nora's art show, Unbound, at a Fremont gallery by Gasworks Park. My Secure Path wealth covered it, a tribute to her support. Leo warned me, "Ryan's sniffing around, man. He's asking about the show." I braced for sabotage. On opening night, Ryan crashed, drunk with friends, shoving past security. This is my brother's gig," he slurred, knocking over a painting. "And I belong here." I faced him, boundary formation solid. "You're not welcome, Ryan. Leave." He laughed, narcissistic rage flaring. "Think you're hot shit? I made you." Leo stepped in, voice sharp. "Get out or I call the cops." Guests filmed, security dragging Ryan out, his friends muttering apologies. The video hit X, going viral. Ethan's brother tries to wreck his art show. Total flop. Memes roasted Ryan's narcissism, crashes brother's event, thinks he's the star. The show triumphed despite Ryan's stunt. Unbound packed the gallery, Fremont's murals glowing outside, fairy lights within. Aunt Nora's paintings, bold, raw, sold out, my name tied to her success. I spoke, voice steady. "This is for the unseen like me, who built their own light." Guests cheered, some crying, my story resonating. Leo hugged me, grinning. Mom and Dad appeared, uninvited, faces gaunt. "Ethan," Mom said, clutching a flyer. "We're proud." Dad, frail, nodded. "Can we talk?" I stared, torn. Their pride was too late. "You chose Ryan," I said, voice firm. "Calm." Pride gaslighting fading. "We were wrong," she whispered. Dad's eyes held guilt but no words. I let them stay, distant, my boundaries clear. They left early, a silent loss. Sophie showed up hesitant. "I'm sorry, Ethan," she said, eyes down. I got sucked in by Aunt Ellen. Her betrayal hurt, but I nodded. "Don't do it again, Sophie." She stayed, helping clean up, her redemption small but real. A guest's video of my speech hit X. Seattle's Ethan tells raw truth about family betrayal. #Unbounded exploded, millions of views, comments empathizing, "Ethan's my hero." Users dug up Ryan's posts, exposing his lies, boasting about my brother's startup, claiming credit. A thread went viral. Ethan's family ditched him, now they want his cash. Ryan's a fraud. Memes roasted Ryan, golden child, all rust. Sophie's old texts, siding with Mom, surfaced, her shame public. Ryan's narcissism flailed. He posted, "My brother's lying, we're family." It backfired, users piling on. "You stole his fiancée, dude." Mom called, voice shattered. "Ethan, stop this. It's killing us." I laughed, cold. "See, I didn't start it, Mom. You did, choosing him." I hung up, the gaslighting powerless. My silence was my revenge, subtle but searing, the internet my blade. In May 2025, I launched a Securpath-funded coding camp for Seattle teens, hosting it at Fremont's Community Center. I taught encryption, Leo mentored, and Clara Anguian guest lectured, her blunt wisdom inspiring. Kids from Rainier Valley, some like me, overlooked, hungry, built apps, their joy my healing. A teen, Jamal, coded a safety app for his sister, his grin echoing my old dreams. The camp hit local news, X buzzing. Ethan gives back while his family falls. Ryan tried sabotaging again, posting lies. Ethan's camp is a scam. It flopped, users countering with photos of kids coding. Sophie, now firm, tweeted, "Proud of my cousin Ethan. He's real." Her shift back was a small victory, my boundary formation holding. By June 2025, I stood at the Space Needle, Seattle sprawling below, reflecting on my arc. Securpath was global, my condo a sanctuary, my life a masterpiece. Ryan faded, jobless, his ex-posts ignored. Mom and Dad struggled, Dad's health failing, but I didn't reach out. Aunt Nora thrived, her art in galleries. Leo was my brother, Max my therapy. Sophie rebuilt trust, our coffee dates cautious but warm. I met Lena, a Pike Place baker, in May. Her quiet strength, her cinnamon roll recipe, eased my scars. Were slow, real, dinners at Ballard Locks a joy. At Volunteer Park, cherry blossoms falling, I knew. Ryan stole my past, but I stole my future. Brighter than his spotlight. My trauma bond was gone, learned helplessness buried, boundary formation my crown. I was Ethan, seen, whole, free. I'm Ethan, seen, whole, free.